Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Art and Outdoor Life here with John. I'm here to show you, for those of you who are beginner painters or not, I'm here to show you how to paint and give you ideas. Okay? So, what I did was I wetted the board, the paper. I sprayed it. I misted it with just a spray bottle, just a little mist. Now, my whole idea here is very important. I haven't released a painting video in a while, and I'll tell you why. There's been a few people who have naysayers, I call them naysayers, right? Who have actually said that I was copying videos, that I was copying paintings and this and that, and I wasn't. I've never done it, never have. Okay, I'm not a student of anybody. I've never been to art school. I failed art in high school. And a little bit about me, yeah, I am, on a collegiate level, I have a few different things I've done there. Anyways, this video here is all about painting. I want you to paint. I don't care if you copy, paint exactly what I'm painting on any of my videos. Okay? If you enjoy my videos, please hit like and subscribe. I do not make any money off these. I'm not looking for any money off these. Okay? Now, some people are, and that's okay because I understand that. I do this as a hobby. And if you look in the description, you'll understand why. Okay. So I'm using a Hake brush here, and I have, off to my left, I have 2 cups of water, okay? I have a bunch of little napkins off to the side, as you see right there. Every time I get a little bit too much water on them, what I'm doing is I'm getting the excess water off and some of the paint. And you'll see my palette here, okay? So far I've used cerulean blue and a Prussian blue. And this is for beginners, okay? And it's not just for beginners, it's for anybody. I'm using burnt umber in this. And I want to show you this, okay? Now, this is a scenic view from the Ozarks of Missouri, okay? There's the palette. Right there is burnt sienna. It's an earth tone, and it has a reddish tint to it. You don't have to use these exact colors. But if you follow along with me, you're going to find, especially if you're new, you're going to find that you're going to really enjoy painting, especially if it's your first time. So I'm just dabbing along here. Now these brushes hold a lot of water, okay? So it's very important to know your water control. So off to my right hand side, I have, beside the napkin, I have a small pad of paper, watercolor paper, and sometimes I'll just touch that And other times I'll squeeze it with a napkin. Okay, so now I'm dipping into some darker blue. Again, this is Prussian blue. And I'm filling in the gaps. Okay, now you're going to watch this. And you're going to be, if you're new at this, you'll like this. Now, if you notice the way that I'm and when I'm tapping, I'm barely tapping. I'm not pushing hard with the brush. Okay. What I'm doing is I'm mixing the colors to set up a nice painting. Okay. This painting is from imagination, like all of my paintings. Okay. And so if you just have a little bit on the tip of your brush or the side of your brush, then you can kind of move it around the paper. You can do that, like I'm doing here. Just barely touching it. Now there is a very bright green. Very bright, okay? So I'm like, okay, I'll just put it in here. Now, we're not going to talk about warm and cool colors. We're not going to talk about numbers. We're not going to talk about expensive paints and all that stuff. You don't have to know that stuff to make a really good painting. You don't. So don't let all these people tell you you do, unless you're out to sell something. Or if you have the money to do it and you just want to. With me, I paint with budget-friendly paints, budget-friendly paper. As you see my palette there, it's like $1. There's lemon yellow. So just dabbing it there, just to get some of that excess off. Okay, and I'm using the same brush without dipping it in water. Okay, because these paints do have water in them. It's watercolor, but just randomly, just kind of pushing it back and forth. And when you're pushing the green up against the blues and the reds, you're gonna get different colors, right? So when you push them against, when you push a bright yellow, up against a blue, you're gonna get, depending on how much of the yellow you're using, you're gonna get a very nice color. And if you're pushing your yellow up against a red, then you'll get an orange. Okay, but we don't have to worry about that. Okay, so now I'm using a little bit of earth tone, which is, this is a burnt umber or brown. Just use a brown. It could be Van Dyke brown. It's an umber. You can use a raw umber if you want to. So just kind of, and when you're watching this, I'm not pushing the brush hard on the paper at all. And if it looks like it, I'm not. I'm just barely touching it. And a lot of watercolor painting has to do with touch. Okay? And of course, your brush strokes. I'm painting this like an oil painting. And, but I'm basically setting up a scene. Okay? So now here's some yellow ochre. Okay? Now, I'm always tipping the top of the brush on the napkin, in this case my paper towel, just so I don't get globs on the paper. That's why I do that. Okay? and I'm giving it flavor. So what is flavor? I've talked about this in my past videos. Flavor is like putting spices in your food. Flavor is, excuse me, different color. Flavor is different color. Now, this brush is dry. That's a medium hake brush. Okay. You don't have to use a hake brush to do this. If you're using small paper, a small size paper, in this case, this is a it's the next size up from a 9 by 12. Okay. So now with those dark colors in there, I'm using lemon yellow, and I'm just dabbing in randomly, and I'm putting patches of grass in there, and look at that. Isn't that beautiful? You can do this. You can do this. And I want to say something. I really want to say something. I was accused a few months back of copying people, and I was accused of copying videos, and that was fake. That was false. I've never done that in my life. You can look up my videos. They're all on there. I never deleted any of them. And here's another thing. Okay. I'm not schooled by nobody. Nobody is telling me how to paint. So if someone says, "Oh yeah, I learned from so and so," well, the truth is, I learned from watching other people on YouTube paint. And when it all comes down to it, you can learn all you want by anybody on YouTube. But in the end, it's you doing the painting. Okay? It's you doing the painting. There are no two paintings that are exactly the same. There are no such thing as that. So now I'm putting in a sandbar. I'm using white. This is Chinese white. And you don't have to use white. Some people do not like to use white. I use white because I like to use white. So, and the rule of thumb when you're painting is the further back you go, the smaller it gets. As far as like an angle, like this little river stream and this little sandbar along the river. Okay? And the further back you go, the more lighter the color is. Okay? Now, I'm using here a card. A lot of people use cards. Okay? These are the kind that you have on your keychain. Gift cards and such. You can use a MasterCard or credit card, anything. You can cut them up, and as long as the paint is still wet, you can do like what I'm doing here. And I'm just randomly creating rocks. Doesn't that look nice? Isn't that nice? My whole idea with this channel is, it is very personal to me. it's my therapy. But it's also something that I've been wanting to share with everybody. Okay? If you want to go ahead and pay money for Patreon or private lessons or whatever, and you have that money, I have no problem with that. For me, I don't have that kind of money. So, and this is my second year here on this channel. In fact, June 15th of 2023 was my first video on this channel, and I've been painting for only a few years. And the other things that I don't show you is I don't show you my oil paintings. I have a few on here. I don't show you my acrylic paintings. They take so long to do. They gotta dry and everything like that. And my plein air paintings and stuff like that. But I will be doing that. Now see, here, because watercolor is so friendly, don't be afraid to put your finger on it, okay? Because most of the colors in watercolor are very friendly. They're not toxic for the most part. Most of them are not. Okay. Now you can use a guitar pick. I've used fingernail filers and different things to create rocks and what appear to be rocks, different things. And as you see, I'm patting my paper. I'm not wiping it. I'm just touching it up because that's how I'm drying the paint. Okay. You can use a hair dryer, and that to dry your paints. I've used a hair dryer only a few times, or you can put your painting in front of a fan, or just let it sit for a while, like 20 minutes or something like that. And you can come back and paint over and over. You can do this for hours and hours and hours. Okay? The way I paint is I paint to relieve stress. And, I'm not playing around when I paint. I don't play around. I just want to get a painting out of get a painting done. I'm not looking for a masterpiece. No. If I was doing that, then it would take a few days, even months, depending, and then, I ain't got time to video all that. I don't have time to video that stuff. And again, so it's just me. But as you look here, you see the purple mountains in the background, and the distant, you see the foliage up front of those mountains, and you see a little river there with a sandbar, and I'm using white. I'm just going over it with a fan brush. I call them turkey tail brushes because they look like turkey tail brushes. When I first started painting just a few years ago, it's in the description. Last year, I started calling these fan brushes eyelash brushes, an eyelash brush, because they also look like eyelashes. But you see, you can do this with only a few colors. And if you've never seen my videos, if you enjoy my videos, it's a tutorial here. Um, you know, please subscribe to my channel, or hit the like button, or share it. If you've never been involved in painting, watercolor painting, they say, is among the most difficult to do. Yet here I am doing a whole painting in less than a half hour. It ain't about how fast I'm doing this, right? It's just about making something nice from imagination. And that's what I hope that you would do. And if you know somebody who's struggling with depression or anxiety and such, share this video with them. Share it with them. Somebody who's said, I can never paint, share it with them. Thank you so much for viewing. I hope that you have a wonderful day. Sincerely, John.